I think we are live. Hello, everybody. Hello to the UK from the future, because you've time changed already.
I know.
Yeah, hello from the west coast of the United States, where we will be changing our time. So it's 11 a.m. for me, but still 6 p.m. for you, right?
That's right. This week
That's right.
and next week, which is our final session, we will be back to normal.
Yep, yep, yeah. And we've
Yeah,
extended it an extra week because we're going with the flow. And next week will also be interesting because in my country over here, I don't know what I don't know what next week will hold um, with the election next week. So we're just hanging out, but we're still gonna have our live stream in any case. We do have an international audience. But
for sure. So,
yeah,
just so that the actual election day is the day after our live,
the
right?
day
It's on the Thursday
before.
or the day before.
It'll be the day before. So
So you'll be waking up to the election results just before you come onto the live.
if yes, but if the last heated election is of any clue, we may not know the election results
I
for a
see.
while.
I see.
Don't
It's
know.
a big moment in history. I mean, I know, and I know it's U.S., but like it's a global thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch U.S. politics for entertainment.
I think we may have talked about this, and I actually watched like Parliament for entertainment because all y'all are just so animated, and when somebody drops the mic, the entire place just explodes. It's so great. It's so great. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. We're a little more quiet in the live round of Congress, but underneath, just holding that seething anger, which is great.
Yeah, it's really interesting because, like, when it comes to the pre-election stuff, where all the candidates go to the different states, the different
Yeah,
constituencies is what we call them. Like, you guys are much more like it's like a whole thing. Like, it's like a show. It's like a performance and
it
everything.
is.
There's a preparation. You're engaged with people. Like here, it's kind of just like no one really knows who's coming to town, and you're like, oh, so and so is here, no one cares. And so like the lead up to the election, I think for you guys is like has a lot more going on to it. The
Yeah.
coverage is like much more engaged and
Yeah, then
in
that's
depth.
that's when the politicians are playing to the people and playing to the crowd and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah,
When your
yeah,
politicians are playing to each other, ooh.
yeah, 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 yeah. It's like they forget that we actually exist.
Yeah, that's so funny. That's so funny. Oh my
So
goodness.
anyway,
Anyway,
that
how you
aside,
doing? How
I'm
you doing?
good.
How's your week been?
It's been pretty intense because the reason we're doing another week extra is because the week before last, both Suzanne and I were just managing and navigating some health and well-being issues, different ones. I just had a cold that took me out for like the whole week. So this last week I've just been kind of like catching up on that last week in a way that you know didn't compromise me. But it's been kind of like very intentional. I wouldn't say busy, but it's like every kind of like working hour was accounted for. I was very meticulously planned. I was very hyper focused. I was not taking any unscheduled calls, like not that I ever do anyway. And so there was that kind of like hyper focused quality on it.
Right,
and
right.
and today that came to its full stop with my membership finally launching. Thank
Yes!
you.
I'm
So we're now
excited.
founding members launch. There were 15 spaces available. There are now 14 because Philippa James has just taken one of the first spots,
That's
and
amazing.
so yeah, I'm really just now at this stage where I'm just talking to anyone and everybody who would listen to me about my membership because I think it's great. and
That's great.
and I'm really excited for the first 15 people to kind of come and really co-create the community with me, because this is, it's called co-create for a reason.
Yeah,
And
I'm gonna flash a QR code up here uh, in just a second. But tell us more about the membership.
sure. So yeah, while we're here, so it's a community membership, um, that kind of hybrids with a lot of learning stuff as well. So it's really designed for creatives like artists, musicians, poets, writers, novelists, etc., who um, are ready to stop playing small with their creative work and really put their work out in the world with no apology, and start being seen and loved for their art. And I think as a demographic of people, you know, I've spoken to hundreds of creatives over the last few months when I was doing my research for this. And I think at the heart of it all, we all have a deep desire to be seen for the art that we do, because it's such a um, a deep personal way in which we express our humanity, and it does connect with other people, and we want to be seen and we want to be received. That's at the heart of what we desire. And yet, as a demographic, we also do everything we can to not be seen, and like
Yeah.
and like we hide. And I say we like very deliberately, like I include myself in this for
Yes.
sure.
Uh-huh.
And so so that's really like at the core of the membership. And so through that, um and with that in mind, we offer a variety of things, including group coaching from me, which I hold every month, that'll just help you work through the kind of mindset stuff that gets in the way, the kind of things that go on inside our heads to stop us from actually A, doing the work, and B, showing the work and completing those projects in a way that's really whole for who we are. And it might be procrastination, so kind of self-sabotaging stuff, imposter syndrome, this kind of thing. So I'm totally here to help you work through those things in the service of your artistic self-expression. And so that's the monthly coaching sessions. And we also have co-create sessions, so which I will run some of them, Suzanne will run some of them. And that's really about showing up with some real accountability, a real schedule, and just saying, hey, I'm putting aside 2 hours to dedicate to my creative work, and I'm gonna join others who are doing the same thing, and I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna do what I said I'm going to do, and I'm not gonna have to do it alone, because nothing happens when I'm alone.
Yes, yes. And the thing I love about that in particular and how it interacts with what I offer at the Creative Spirals is, the Creative Spirals, I'm learning that I'm really great at tools and systems and kind of bringing all
Yes.
that together. So we offer like a one-on-one body doubling kind of thing for your creativity where you can, pick and choose the time slot that you want to say, okay, 90 minutes is purely for creativity, for example. And then it'll match you in the whole focus mate system with one other like body double or accountability partner who will just literally sit there with you and they do their thing and you do the thing. But what you are doing is community, very intentional community, very intentionally for the creativity, offering more space, more like person to person relationship building. Whereas
Yeah.
I might have a tool that helps you with this week and that week and this time slot, you have a community that will help you on a much deeper level.
Yeah, I think that's really good. And I think the tools that you offer as well is something that work really in a really complementary way with each other. So, you know, I think community is great, and at the same time you want to have those tools and those strategies. So that's why we also have a membership library where you have video lessons, you have downloadable tools, you have templates, and you have just like some some things that you can learn, some strategies, and some things that you can practically put in place. And a lot of those resources are self-led as well, so there's no need for overwhelm because you're trying to have, trying to catch up with stuff. Like, there's nothing to catch up on. And and we have guest experts coming in as well to teach you whatever, the whatever it is that they're an expert in, that would really serve the creative community. So for example, I have somebody coming in who's doing a 3-hour workshop to build your online portfolio in that 3-hour workshop. So from start to finish, you're going to get the templates, the tools, and the guidance live that you need to get this one thing done that's really going to serve you being able to show and showcase your work, whether you're a composer or an artist or a photographer, whatever it is. Then that session is there for you. And that's happening live. And we also have some live things, like we have somebody who's talking about neurodivergency and how to be aware of people that you're interacting with who are neurodivergent, but also how to take care of yourself if you are on the if you are neurodivergent. And even if you don't think you are, some of these tools about self-care and managing your own energy and knowing how you work is so essential for a creative who, which is most of us, are trying to function in a world that's not necessarily designed for the way that we work and the way that we think. And so the community space is really a whole um, myriad of tools and techniques, and fundamentally about togetherness. Because I think one of the things that is consistent across a lot of people's goals is, yeah, you have these goals, you want to, build a website, you want to have an art exhibition, you want to release your album, you want to finish this song, you want to finish writing your novel, you want to put together a poetry newsletter, whatever it happens to be. The one thing that I find is common with a lot of creatives is we're trying to do it alone, and we wonder why we're lonely.
Mm-hmm.
and
Wonder why it's so hard. Yeah.
and wonder why it's so hard and why we don't have the help, and so on and so forth. And so it's really just like addressing that at its fundamental level. Of course, it's not going to solve all of your problems, but it makes the problem solving like 100% more possible. And I think that really relates to what we're doing with accountability buddies as well. And in a minute, we'll go through what we said we were going to do last week and how it's gone. And, I have a lot to say about how much I've actually experienced the power of having an accountability relationship. Even though it's something I've had in the past, it's something that I support people to have. But to really experience it time and time again, it's just like, it always blows my mind how simple and effective it is.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So
Exactly.
yeah, so we'll get into that. There's hi Olive, and oh, we've got somebody on my Instagram, so I'll
Oh,
just
great.
remember to keep an eye on these things, because sometimes you can get really lost, right?
Yes, and I just want to say hi to I think it's one N.E. Brown, and I don't know if that's your name or what it is, but hello, good to see you.
Yeah. So
Uh,
if you are watching live, please write a comment, say who you are, what you're doing, and share your own creative projects as well. And I think maybe just like a little recap, because we're on our penultimate episode of this series. So it's our second to last. And so in the first episode, we spent a lot of time just defining what is an accountability buddy, what makes a good one, because it's not a friend, it's not a coach, it's somewhere in between.
mhm.
and and we really wanted to underline that your accountability buddy has to be a good energetic match for you.
Right.
And with that, actually, Suzanne has a free matchmaking service. Do you
I
want to tell us a little bit about that?
do. Yes, yes, indeed. So, this is the Buddy Up form where you can actually find an accountability partner. You just fill out a Google form, and we will be matching you. You'll be added to the list of people, and we'll be matching people based off of their interests and their skills, what they want to bring out of it, what they want to contribute. And this will be it's free until the end of our series, so next week. And then this is going to be bundled up with the Accountability Buddy bundle because why
We
did I
like a
name it
tongue
that?
twister.
Whatever. I regret my decisions. Anyway, um, but after our series is concluded, this is gonna be bundled up into a $9 package, but it will be offered for free with the Co-Create Space membership. So get it now while it's free and easy. Um, and if you don't like, if you ever miss this, let me just put up a caption. I think it's you can always sign up for let's see, the creativespirals.com. Don't forget the creative spirals. This is only because there's limited characters. But but you'll always be on my email list and you'll always have that if you are on here. So
Yeah.
yeah, we do have a matchmaking and I do have the quote unquote accountability buddy bundle, which is free until our series concludes next week.
Yeah. So that's what we did in episode 1. And in episode 2, Suzanne talked us through how to use the templates that she's provided. And if you want that, you just have to sign up to our Eventbrite link so that you can get all the replays to this and a reminder for the next session, which is the last one next week. And she just talked us through how you actually have the first meeting. So you set up those expectations and you take personal responsibility for how you want to be held accountable in a way that works for you. And we literally give you all it's a step by step. You can't really get it wrong. Of course you can kind of add your own things to it, but these were the essentials that we felt you really needed in order to make sure that you have a successful relationship with your buddy. And with that, we also went through some tools and techniques that you can introduce in play during your partnership. So that was episode 2. And episode 3, 4, and now we've really just been checking in on the goals that we declared. So Suzanne wanted to complete her Thanksgiving song by the end of this series, which is next week. And I set up a goal which seems to be lasting forever to put together an exhibition with a quite a unique vision where I'm producing tiny A6 pieces that's gonna cover the gallery wall to wall. And over the course of the last few weeks, I figured out exactly the measurements of the gallery and how many pieces I'm gonna need to make that happen, which turned out to be 1,800 pieces. And then we broke down how many pieces I'm then gonna have to make each week to meet that target by August 2025, which is now booked and paid for in the gallery. So, my one's a little bit insane, but hey.
Wait
So,
a minute. But you know what? You know what's really interesting about this is like if you have that vision and you commit to it and you keep going for it, there's some magic that happens in that. The other thing that's
for sure.
interesting is your membership is really about not playing small.
Yeah.
You're making these itty bitty little paintings, but so many of them that you're not playing small. You're not playing small. You're playing giant.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is as well, I'm really enjoying the game. So I don't know if you want to pull up the things, but I really, so last week we worked out, like I hadn't really, um I think my target to create last week was, I think, was it 20 pieces or 30 pieces? I think it was 30 pieces, and I hadn't met that. I'd done 18, which wasn't bad, but okay, I didn't quite meet that target. I was navigating quite a lot, but I really wanted to set myself a challenge where it's like, what's the bare minimum that I need to do for me to be able to meet that target? And we worked out it was 25, between 20 to 30. So we said 25. So I said, okay, well, this week I'm just going to do 25 between last Wednesday and this Wednesday and just see how that goes. And it was a particular week where I was, focused on launching the membership, so
Right.
on and so forth. So, and where I've ended up is I have 23 finished and 4 works in progress. And the only reason they're not finished is because the paint is drying and I need to add a couple more things to them. And so, actually, by tonight, before I go to bed, I'm gonna commit now that I'm gonna post the last 2 pieces on my Instagram stories, and that completes 25. And so, there's something about that's the specificity of that number, the specificity that I was going to create 25 pieces between last week and this week. And every day I was going to post something to update Suzanne on my progress and you guys on my progress as well. That made it really fun. It was like, it was like, oh yeah, I'm just like kind of like reaching a target. And and this morning, because I was like so hyper focused on this launch,
Yes.
and I completed everything that I needed to do or could do last night. And I woke up this morning, I was like, okay, the email's gone out, it's ready, it's launched. And I had this overwhelming urge to just binge on Vampire Diaries for the whole day, and like really felt like I deserved it. And so I kind of just had to listen to that and check in with myself. It's like, well, what is that? Like, I'm obviously looking for rest and relaxation, right? And I knew that I could gain that from painting, and I did. That's what I did. Instead of being binging on Vampire Diaries, I
Oh,
made good food. I painted, and I thought, if I weren't in this partnership and I didn't have to go live tonight to say I've done whatever many paintings, that I would have just been binging on Vampire Diaries and like become a potato.
woo!
So
Not that there's anything wrong with that,
no,
but
not at all.
because you've got a accountability partner and a project you're committed to that like you can start bite-sized, doing actions. That's such a cool insight, as making me realize um my favorite thing to like zone out on is I will listen to either audiobooks or podcasts and just play some puzzle, like mindless puzzle game on my phone. Um,
Mm.
and I could do that for hours, maybe days straight. Some people like binge on Netflix. I just binge on whatever audiobook is in my queue. And but I always just feel like I've gorged on empty calories afterwards.
Yeah.
So I have to think about how I feel afterwards. And you're so right in that and I sometimes indulge, and it's like I'm looking for rest and relaxation. I'm looking for a reset. Is there something else that doesn't make me feel so like drained afterwards? To be
Mm.
honest,
Mm.
um, and sometimes it's fine. Just like sometimes watching 3-4 hours of Netflix is fine, but watching 20 hours of Netflix, that's a different story, and it does make you feel drained. So
Mm.
I'm thinking about what I can do to kind of replace it that still feels restful and rejuvenating. And I have a legendary Evernote. I don't know if you know Evernote, but it's the app that kind of is a note taking app and you can organize everything. I have all of my song ideas since 2012. So that's 12 years of song ideas that it's
Wow.
actually kind of relaxing for me to just go in and organize it. Don't think about it, just kind of review what I actually have in there and kind of tag things and things and it that does feel restorative and that does feel rejuvenating. And I can totally just lay on my back and like either on the laptop or on the phone just kind of do it. Um, so yeah, I love that insight of like I'm looking for relaxation. Actually, painting is relaxing. That's
Yeah.
really cool. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, definitely. The thing is, like, one of the trainings that's inside the membership, I talk about the 7 types of rest. Because, we're all familiar with like, mental exertion, emotional energy, physical energy. But there's actually like 4 more. There's like your creative energy and needing creative rest either through activation or um or stepping back, resting, activation or resting, and you then also have sensory energy,
Ooh.
um, and social energy and
Mhm.
spiritual energy. And so it's about having a balance of both activation and rest in all of those seven areas. And quite often they complement each other. So, the reason I was craving that kind of like numbing out Vampire Diaries experience is because there was a lot of mental exertion that was happening when I was preparing for this launch. And and so I was kind of looking for something that's like, yeah, where I don't have to think, like literally mind numbing. And actually, like, Netflix is a good antidote for mental exertion until
Mhm.
it's not.
Until it's
So
not.
there's like,
Exactly.
an hour or two, like one episode, two episodes, fine. But I know myself, the way that I woke up this morning, like that wasn't gonna be a one or two episode thing. That was gonna be like a whole binging thing. And so, hi David. And so it was really important to just go, okay, like, no, I do need rest, I do need relaxation, and acknowledge the kind of the mental exertion that had been for the week leading in, and finding a different way to do that. And actually, creative activation is, I find, one of the best complementary things that you can do to balance out mental overexertion. And
Mm.
so, particularly these pieces, because they're abstract, there's really not a lot of thinking going on when I'm doing them. It's just like, oh, look, there's a color. Let's pick that. There's no like,
Yeah.
that's about as much planning as there goes. And it's like
That's great.
that was so deeply replenishing. And the fact that I kind of had to do that because I have this deadline just meant that I made a good decision between Vampire Diaries versus, a couple of hours of painting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Love that.
So
So,
yeah.
yeah, so to the previous three commitments that we set last week, posting a story every day on IG, you damn well did that. I think you missed maybe the first day if I remember, but was that right?
I think so it was Wednesday. I did miss the Thursday. I was on a conference that day,
Uh,
which I told you about, but I didn't tell anybody else.
Great.
And but yeah, and then you reminded me. So Suzanne sent me a message, and it was funny because the reason I saw her message was because I went on Instagram to post the story, and she said, "Have you posted your story?" So it was brilliant.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm prepared to check that off. Are you prepared to check that off?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Woo! There's the little party emoji that I'm gonna
Yeah.
literally here. Party, yeah,
That's the thing about these ticks as well. It's like each time that you take something off on your list, it's like a teeny tiny dopamine hit
Yeah.
that makes you keep wanting to come back for more.
Yeah, yeah, and it also is a little confidence builder because if you walk into a project with some confidence built, it all of a sudden doesn't seem so big and overwhelming. It seems like, oh, I can at least do these little pieces. So that's the feedback loop in the brain that really
Exactly.
helps. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So and then you did do you are at 18 and then tonight will be like later tonight
So
will
right
be
now, this moment, it's 23 with 4 works in progress.
cool.
And so before I go to bed tonight, it will be 25.
Okay,
Because I'm
awesome.
literally just waiting for these things to dry so that I can add the
You
final
can add
piece.
and
There
finish
they
up.
are.
Okay, great.
So,
Okay,
so yeah.
so I'm just gonna say 23 done by a live stream will be 25 before end of day, and that is end of day. Okay, all right. I'd like for you to come into this document and check that off when it actually is.
Okay. Yes, I'll do that. You have
Okay.
to send me the link because I completely lost it.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You could probably search your Google Docs for the word Suzanne. I'm guessing you may not have a whole lot of Suzanne labeled docs in your life, but maybe not. But I'll send you the link. Sending you the link anyway. Oops, wait, this is on share. Let's not do that. Okay, and then set aside 2 hours this weekend for painting.
So I did do that. It was 2 lots of 1 hour. largely to allow for paint to dry, because that's
Right.
that's kind of just that. So I did do that, and actually, if I hadn't, I probably wouldn't have reached the 23. So I think that was a good learning as well. It's like the 20 minutes a day is good. That gets me to, like, 15, 16. But
Mm-hmm.
to really like push the boat out, like I do need to put aside like big proper chunks of time, which, and I'm really looking forward to running the co-create sessions in the membership, because it'll literally force me to do that at least three
Yes.
times a week.
Oh, I love
So
it. I love it.
so hi, and I've got a songwriter. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so if you don't mind typing that in, I'd love to say hello properly. Ria Kuntas, songwriter. I might be butchering that. I'm so sorry. So tell me how to
Awesome.
say
Hello, fellow songwriter. Good to see you.
it.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. And then, so what have you accomplished since last check in? Like the 23 paintings. And then also, you launched a freaking membership,
Yeah.
which is incredible. I'm gonna put the QR code up one more time for the join co-create. It's up there. If you are interested in joining that membership. Um, Anything else that you have accomplished this week that we can celebrate?
um. Well, I went to. Oh, I did say your name right. I'm so proud of myself. That's
Oh,
that. And so I mean, I did go to this network. It was a conference that was so very much designed to be neurodiversity friendly, and it was run by Kate Whitley. And I was really proud of myself for going, because I have been avoiding going to live events for a little while, like, the last maybe like couple of years, because of a lot of kind of social energy expenditure, etc. But I also know how much I do need like in-person contact,
mhm,
and so much of it is about choosing which events are going to work for me. And so going to this and experiencing Kate's event, which was very much designed with neurodiversity in mind, was a really, really good experience.
that's great. That's awesome. Um, yeah, that's fantastic. Anything else you can celebrate with you this week?
I think that's good. I'm
Great.
really proud of all of those things.
Yeah, incredible. All right. Did anything block you since last check-in? What
And
helped
anything
you?
taught me since. So, I mean, I definitely had to navigate kind of like the kind of anxiety that comes with like launching anything. And like this morning, like I'll tell you a funny story. Like I woke up way too early, way earlier than I needed to. And the email to say membership is open with the link to sign up went out at 10 o'clock. So I checked my accounts, like, and all the things at like 10:15, and I was like, nobody's signed up. Nobody's gonna sign up ever. And it's like, and everybody hates me. No one's gonna read my emails. No one's gonna sign up for this thing. Like
I
I
know,
suck. Like
I
all
know
of this
those
is like,
voices.
it's like, what's the point? Like I should just stop doing this. I should just crawl into a hole and die. And I was just like, watch. I just like watch it after like 15 minutes of the membership being open, and now we're just like going through this like. And there was definitely two of me in that situation. Like there was the one that was saying all of this like lunatic stuff,
Yeah.
and then and then there was me just like watching it happen. It's just like, oh yeah, like this is what happens.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of crap that I tell myself
Yeah.
at any given opportunity, because that's what we do as human beings.
It's definitely, especially like our modern anxieties in particular. I mean, this is like evolutionary, like residue, I call it,
Yeah.
um, from when we really did have to, like, we were chased by saber-toothed tigers or whatever it was, and we really did have to be on alert. And now it's like it's just an email. Like, really, we're terrified of an email. We're terrified of putting our best cool, fun projects forward that,
Yeah.
it's not a saber tooth tiger, it's an email.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's a and it's like, obviously I want it to go well,
Of
and I
course,
believe in
yeah.
the membership, I believe in the product, and like that's my intention. But there's like a process, like I have to go through the launch period, and then see what happens, and kind of like treat it with a certain kind of not like detachment, like you don't care, but it's like it's an experiment that
Mhm.
you care about, but really you're there to look at the results
Right.
and then make certain adjustments. And that's like the rational part of me that's able to see that and know that and would teach that to people. And then the human part of me, that's just
Mhm.
full on like insane.
Yeah.
Like and so yeah, it's kind of, yeah, navigating that, and actually, yeah, just being able to lean on my training and use the knowledge and the learning that I've had over the years and that I help people with on myself.
Mhm.
And again, like, yes, I can hold that space for other people because that's what we do, but I
Right.
do have other people holding that space for me too.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah, exactly.
you
I think
know,
I think that's one of those things. I think we even talked about it. Of like, it's it's not fair to expect a personal trainer to be their own personal trainer. It's not
exactly.
fair to expect a therapist to be their own therapist. So it's also not fair to expect a business coach or a creativity coach or anything to be their own business coach and creativity
Yeah,
coach. Yeah,
yeah, for sure.
yeah,
So I was,
great.
yeah, so that was something to navigate, and definitely using my network and using the people who were there for me really helped. And and just knowing, yeah, like I've got to post a story today that shows
Hmm.
some progress on the paintings meant that I showed up
Hmm.
despite the crap that was going on in my head.
I'm gonna go and put that under celebrations. I showed up despite all the crap going on in my head. I am absolutely gonna party emoji that to the world's end right there. Yes. Huge, huge. All right, so three tasks for next time. I already put one for later today.
Yeah,
Um,
I think I'm gonna go for another. Like, I think I might. Should I? No, I've got the shiatsu training. I'm gonna go for another 25 pieces. Bearing in mind I won't have the weekend as such because I'm in my shiatsu training.
is that how you
Um,
spell it? Sue.
SHIATSU.
Okay.
So,
Insurance training this weekend. Okay.
I think 25 is like, now that I know I can do 25, like
Mhm.
25 is like a good baseline for
Great.
like a certain amount of intentionality for
Okay.
sure.
Another 25 pieces this week. And then anything else for this week to move
Mm,
forward. If you're in just pure content creation mode right
mm.
now, or is there any other logistics or anything else to really take care of?
I think I think because the exhibition's not until August, it's really about content creation at this point. And although I did start researching where I can get 2,000 bulldog clips to put in
Okay.
the thing, so uh yeah.
And I will do a slight apology. I just called your art content. I deeply apologize. No, your art is art. Your art is art.
No, I know what you mean though.
But you
It's
know what
like,
I mean.
yeah,
But
it's like we're in the production stage
yeah, yeah.
of it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Great. Well, we could leave it to just those two.
Well,
For now.
we can add that I'm gonna keep posting them on Instagram stories because
Okay.
that's been a really good motivator for me, for sure.
Yep. And I still have my alarm set for about this time every day, and I hope my little poking and jabbing has been helpful.
Very much appreciated, for sure.
Okay. IG stories every day this week.
Yeah.
Um, is that including the weekend, or should it be 5 days this week?
Mm, Um. Hmm. Let's not include the weekend because certainly Saturday I won't even be at home. So
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So
But
let's do 5 days this week,
yeah,
excluding weekend.
that's 5 a day. That's not bad actually.
Yeah.
If I think about it, that is 5 a day. That's totally doable.
Okay. Um, okay. 5 a day. Great. And then anything else do you foresee stopping you? And if so, what help or support will you need?
Mm, 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 mm. So yes, she has training this weekend. I'm also going to London um on Thursday. That's tomorrow. And I'm staying there until Friday, but I'm really gonna use the Friday to Thursday I've got an event, so I'm gonna use the Friday to do a little bit of an artist date and actually look at some other people's art
Mm-hmm.
and see if I can get some inspiration from there.
Great.
So the my post for that day is probably gonna be likely more sketches rather than actual pieces.
Okay. We'll post more. We'll post sketches rather than pieces on Friday.
Yeah, on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's good. I
All
think that's
right.
fine. So Thursday, Friday. Just thinking about my schedule. But no, that's good. That's good.
All right. Terrific. All right. So,
So your turn.
my turn. Okay. So, post a video snippet with the audio editor. I did post a photo. I didn't get the video snippet because it just like audio editing is kind of tedious and annoying, and you just hear the same clip over and over again.
The
I don't know, but
picture
then
was good though.
but the
Like I
picture
had
was good.
no idea what I was looking at, but it looked impressive.
Right, right. Well, you saw my software with each individual track, and I think it was, yeah, it was in my stories, but it was for those of you who don't know, like music production, there might be like a lead vocal that's in one audio file, and then stacked on top of it is maybe a background harmony, and then another background harmony, and then the bass, and then the guitar. So what you saw was all of those files kind of stacked on each other in my music software in Ableton. But it had lots of rainbow colors, and I'm like, okay, well that's pretty for a picture, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes. I did that. I accomplished that. Write promo copy for Patreon release. I did not. And did I
Okay.
message Sally for admin support? I did not. That only takes 30 seconds, and it slipped my mind.
You want to do it now since it only takes
Yeah,
30
I mean,
seconds?
where did my phone go?
This is the
What?
great thing about account. While you do that, I'll just talk
Yeah.
to everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
Talk to the people, and I'll.
the great thing about having these kind of times to have a check-in with your accountability buddies, because like some of these tasks, like what Sandra said, it just takes 30 seconds, and sometimes you just okay, like I'm just gonna do it now, like in this call, because why not? And just getting some of those things done, and I've been in accountability buddy um setups before where I've spent, a good 10 minutes of that just literally being on a call on video with somebody while they finished off a task that they didn't get to complete during the week. And that extra accountability of having somebody there waiting for you to complete a task in a really kind of like not judgmental and not rushing kind of way um, can be really useful in just getting something out of the way, especially if it's something that you don't particularly like doing. Like in my case, I did this with somebody who was coaching me. I just really needed to get my taxes done. And I knew it wasn't going to take very long because I had QuickBooks all set up. It was just a case of checking the data, copying and pasting stuff into the HMRC website and pressing send. And it was a half hour thing. And I just knew I needed the support of somebody to get me to do it because I really don't want to give my money to the tax people. so so yeah.
Yep. All right. So I'm just gonna message Shelly, and if she sees the replay, she will laugh because it's funny. Let's see. The other the other thing is, do I DM her? Do I text her? Do I email? What does she? I don't. I'm gonna stop overthinking, Suzanne, and just do whatever. Okie dokie. Um. Okay. All right. IG. Fine. 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 Shelly. Hey, Shelly. How are you doing? I have a
In the
few.
meantime, while Suzanne's doing that, for the people who are who are around and watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, I know this is streaming on Suzanne's Facebook and Instagram as well. So please let us know what creative projects you're currently working on right now, and if you are, and if you have been following along, it would be good to hear what you found useful in the time that we've been together. And if you're new to us, like, it would be really good to see if you're somebody who's currently actively looking for an accountability buddy, or if you're just sort of having a nose around. Either way, we'd love to know what creative projects you're currently engaged with right now.
Mhm. Oh, she might be on tour. Now that I'm looking at her IG. Hmm. Should I? Yeah, I'm just gonna say
Just
it.
send it. Like, look, she'll ignore it if she's busy, and then she'll let you know when
Yeah,
she's
yeah. Okay.
available
Thank you for helping me not overthink.
next.
Are you traveling? Question mark. I'll just at least start the DM conversation and be like,
Yeah.
"Are you traveling?" Cool.
Okay. So so for those of you who are catching up, so last week Suzanne and I talked about the art of delegating and actually being able to ask for help, because most of the things that you have to do to get your project done, you could probably get some support on. The one thing that can't be outsourced is you actually creating the thing.
Is the
It's
art?
creating the painting, it's writing the song, singing the stuff. And so a lot of the stuff you can ask help for, and that's so much a part of being a creative as well, is knowing how to rally a team around your project.
Yeah.
So, for example, I did ask my partner. I said, "Look, I went to the gallery to measure stuff. It was really stressful. It took half an hour. It would have taken you 12 minutes." And he was like, "How did it take you half an hour?" And I was like, "Right. So you're coming to do the measuring when I actually set up the pieces, because that's a lot more measuring." And I mean, he didn't really have a choice because he's my partner, but that's the kind of thing that you can that you can ask support for.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So, um, what
So
have
the
I?
writing the promo copy, tell me about that, and
Yeah.
how it didn't go.
Um, so I think one of the stumbling blocks was because the to dos are in this document and
Mm,
not either on my calendar or even in my other main to do task tracker.
mm-hmm,
It slipped. It just slipped my mind, and so I
mm,
think that was something blocking me. Actually, let me just do this. So let me put that. Oops. Um, I didn't transfer the tasks to my calendar, which is really like it. I use a combination of Google Calendar and Google Tasks, but then for bigger projects, I use another project management system. So like the
mm.
simple tasks can be on my calendar, but if it's like more complicated, like I can't. I can't clutter up my calendar with all that. So I didn't transfer the task to my calendar or project management system. You know what would really help? Okay, wait. I didn't get my accomplishments in. Oh, in order, Suzanne. One thing at a time. This is my ADHD just like all over the place. What have I accomplished since the last check-in? Any wins to celebrate, big or small? Especially with this track. I did get it edited, so song is edited, which is making sure all of the pieces align, that the guitar is coming in at the right place, and if it isn't, then we can kind of snip and nudge and kind of edit it. The next phase is the mixing. So that's making sure each track is balanced against each other. So if I've got a front vocal, a main vocal, but all the background vocals need to be quieter and sound like they're in the background and not like full
That's
on.
the mastering process, right?
That's the mixing
The mixing,
process.
right?
And then the mastering is just making sure all of that is up to standard across the board in the music industry, so that
I see.
when you're listening to different tracks, like on Spotify, there isn't one that's like way louder or way softer or way stranger than the other things that are
Yeah.
on the services.
Yeah.
So song is edited, and vocals are also tuned up. So any little notes that I didn't quite hit, he put his magic on it and fixed it. This is my audio editor guy. And I'm gonna list that as a separate bullet point because I like my
Yeah,
bullet
for
points.
sure. Yeah,
Um,
yeah. And
that's
so
exciting.
with the so just so that I'm clear as well, like is your goal still to complete the song by next week?
Yep. So the last piece is the mixing.
The mixing. Okay.
It's mixing, mastering. Sometimes they're done by even the
Yeah.
same person, but it's the finalizing, making sure that everything is balanced and up to a standard. So
And are you set up for that, like with
yes.
somebody booked?
So last night I was it was supposed to happen last night, but he had to rebook for tonight.
Uh-huh.
And this is something that's interesting about my. I think I've shown you my the service I use is called Musiversal, and I can book different instrumentalists. I can book a violin player. I can book a guitarist, um, and in some cases I can just book them, and if I can't show up, they'll still do it. They'll
Mm.
still do their best. So that's actually the case when I booked my guitarist. That
Yeah,
was
I
also the
remember.
yeah, that was also the week that I had to go to the hospital and kind of take care of some things. Um, so I messaged him and like, I trust you. Just give me something. And he got back, and a couple of takes. One was not quite in the style, but another one was. So we kind of comped that together and got some good textures, got some good takes from that. So because tonight I'm already booked, um, he had to reschedule, and he just kind of rescheduled it in a spot where it was like, oh, I'm not even available, and I don't love that part about the Universal services, but I get it, and I'm hoping that the mixing process is pretty straightforward with all of the tracks that I'm going to give him.
Mm-hmm.
So, crossing fingers, I do kind of foresee that I'll have to just double check the work, and if there's
Yeah.
any feedback, I'll have to do it afterwards. Um,
Yeah. So
which
that's one of the things that you can foresee, right? Yeah.
yeah, can't
Okay.
make the live mix session, so we'll have to check. Now, even if the song isn't mixed, but it's good enough, because a mixing engineer like goes, they might go to school and train for years to get all of the frequencies and nuances, and like there's a lot to mixing rather than just turn the volume up here and turn the volume down here. There's a lot to it. But I have my Patreon, which that is the first of every month. I release
Yeah.
a song the first of every month. That is rock solid. I've done that for the past 6 years. I've only missed two. One to COVID. That was like when COVID dropped. I was like, "Hey, no, I'm not doing this." Uh, and then another was I put it out on the second instead of the first,
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
worked.
Okay.
So I'm pretty like first or bust.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and the good thing about the Patreon model is that even if I sent them you know, a
Like a demo
smartphone
version.
recording,
Yeah,
if I just like sent them a smartphone recording, it still fills the
yeah.
song on the first. So I can send it unmixed or mixed good enough to my
Mm,
ears, and it's still fine. But if I wanted
yeah,
to release it to the streamers, which I do, to the Spotify's and Apple Music's,
yeah,
I
yeah.
really want to get it mixed and
So it
mastered.
sounds like it's totally doable for you to send out the Patreon version on Friday.
Yeah, totally.
That's gonna happen. And then it's a matter of really being intentional with your mixing engineer
Hmm.
to make sure that between now and next Wednesday you do what you need to do for you to be able to send it out for
Hmm.
distribution, which I think was your ultimate goal, right?
Yes, ultimate goal is to
Yeah.
have it actually on Spotify and all of the just the digital marketplaces.
Mm,
Yeah. So if I submit it, basically, if I submit it by the start of next week, there's a high chance that it might take one to, I'm hoping 1 to 2 weeks. Some some other distributors they take up to a month, but
mm,
I think mine has been getting better at faster turnarounds.
yeah.
So
But I suppose that's the point where like you kind of hand control over.
yeah,
So like what you
exactly.
can commit to and what you can own is that you're gonna press the button to send it to them by a
Yes.
certain time.
Yes. So the first is to patrons, and then by the time we have our last session, it will be submitted through my distributor to all of these streamers. And just because if you're not in the music industry, just like a distributor is like a third party service that does quality check. So, for example, if I were to upload a song to just my website or to like SoundCloud or something, I could just hit the publish button and it's out into the public. But because I want to get it into these marketplaces who have a standard of quality, they don't just accept any little piece of audio, and
Mm,
it needs to be registered, and there's a whole bunch of other admin stuff that I'm going to ask my friend Shelly about. uh,
mm,
there's a third party service that handles, I submit it to them, they do the quality check, they make sure everything is kosher, so to speak, and then they submit it to directly to the
to Spotify, Apple,
Spotify,
etc.
yeah, Amazon Prime, those kinds of things.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So
Yeah.
is there anything else that you can foresee? I mean, um, like one thing that I might ask of you
Mhm.
is when we complete tonight, just send me a message or put an Instagram story to say the writing the promo copy for the Patreon is on my calendar, because I
Yes.
also have a suspicion that writing the promo copy is just like the least fun part of this whole thing.
Um, actually, to be honest, the mixing is the least fun part for me.
Right.
I can
Yeah.
write. I feel capable and confident of writing
Yeah.
something, even if I do have to cheat a little with Chat GPT or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. the mixing, because it's so far above my head and I feel like I'm like grasping at straws, and
Yeah, it's very
I
technical, it sounds
it's
like.
it's technical, then I
Yeah.
start questioning whether or not this part sounds weird, or if I should, like, I
Mm.
really get in my head about mixing, so it might be
Yeah.
a good thing that I'm not in the live session. It
Yeah.
might be. It might be a terrible thing. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
So yeah, like if you can text me or do an Instagram story about your when you're writing your promo copy and that being in your calendar or your project management system, because I think once it's there, it's like it's gonna get done. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
And with the mixings, what can I do to help that part? Because it feels like it could also become a bottleneck. Like, 'cause without that, it's like it's hard to move forward, right?
Yeah, and it this is actually the part that has historically been my bottleneck
Mm,
for all of my songs. Like, I've written like
right. Yeah.
300 songs and only about 10 are up on Spotify.
Yeah.
Because of mixing just is like, it's really stressful for me.
Yeah.
So, let's see, what can you do? I actually, one thing that you can help with, so I'm gonna be, I'll be texting or IG stories at mentioning you when I'm writing it. I think, um, you know what, I think I'm gonna book a focus mate to do a light mixed job, a good enough to my ears and good enough to patrons' ears job. Um, and I do need to get that out by Friday morning for me. Um, so I think it would actually be helpful. Goodness, what do I need? I need signs.
I mean, it might just be like, like an update of like, because you're gonna have this your mixing guy do his thing this evening, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
maybe you could just send an IG story saying, I've listened to the mix and this is how it's gone.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and if it's a good mix, it would look like a lot of celebration emojis. And if it's not quite there, then you can say, then you can have a little sit down and say, okay, how do I re-strategize this?
Okay.
Like, what needs to happen next? And then you can update me on what that looks like.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Listen to the mix.
Because because if I were to put myself in your position and like, the mix comes back and it's great, then fine, obviously that's great, and you take the next steps. But if it's not, it's very easy to just be like, oh, I don't want to think about this anymore,
Yep.
and then just do nothing about it for a while. But
Hmm.
actually, because of the time factor, I think you kind of want to be like, okay, like just be really intentional about it and have like an action plan.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I think so. So I think because that is going to be tonight. It's still Wednesday for me tonight, and then
Yeah.
Thursday morning I will have time to listen to his mix, and if I
Mm,
need to do another like random mix job on Thursday for Patreon audiences, I will. So
yeah.
I will message you on IG stories. I'll be at mentioning you and the hashtag
Mm-hmm.
ABIA. Um, yeah, I think so. And I think I am gonna book myself a Focus Mate session to
Yeah.
just listen to the mix, because even that is like getting myself to sit down and listen to it. I don't know why it's
Hmm.
so anxiety producing, but it's like I think for me just finishing things in general is like,
Yeah.
oh no, now I have to be seen, and now I'm gonna be publishing it, and now everybody's gonna judge me and hate me. All those gremlins in your head that
Yeah.
they're doing that. Yeah, no. Yep.
And this is the point, just like, for everybody who's watching this live and on the replay, like, this is the point where self-sabotage, like, is there. Like, that's when it rears its head, because you're so close to the finish line. And as soon as you cross that finish line, you're no longer in control of that piece of art. It has its own life. It's on the wall. It's, the membership, it's live, it's ready. I can't control who's going to come in or not. And, and that's when we tend to self sabotage. We tend to not complete. We tend to do something really bizarre to make it not happen, because there's a risk involved. When crossing that finish line is risking something, it's risking some way in which you're protecting yourself from being seen, because when you're seen you can be judged, and that feels so terrifying for us.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, I was actually having a coaching call this morning with one of my clients, and one of the things we talked about is creating a little bit of a distance between yourself and your work. So that doesn't mean stop caring, and the distance doesn't have to be so huge that it's no longer your thing. But it's like just enough so that your self-worth isn't attached to what you're doing, to the project. The project is only one expression of who you are. It isn't who you are, it's one expression of who you are.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
if you can create that distance, whether that project is an art project, a sales call, like a business, like whatever it is, if you can create that distance, you will be less crazy. And
You'd
and
hope.
it's easier said than done,
Yeah, of
for sure. And it's taken me years and years and years to get to a point where I can even say that, or
course.
even get the concept of that.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was just like a little kind of something.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so what I'm doing right now as we speak is I'm transferring some of these to-dos to my calendar.
Great.
Um, the promo copy, so I've got I do have a focus mate session for tomorrow morning. I think I might have to book another one for the promo copies. Let me do that. Um, listen to mix promo copy. Yeah, okay. And right, Patreon promo copy. I'll do that. And then, what are the other things? I'm gonna just double check. Yeah, promo copy, votables edited.
Hmm.
Follow up with Shelly.
Just one
Um,
last thing on your bit. Is there anything else that you want to celebrate? Because we talked a lot about what you're gonna do next, which is obviously important. But like, is there anything else from the last week that you want to give yourself some credit for?
oh goodness. Let me remember what I even.
Remember what you did last?
Yeah,
It's actually a really hard question. When you asked me earlier, I
no,
was just like, I have no idea, like
no idea.
what I
I have to,
did.
I have to consult my second brain here, which is my calendar. Um, I mean, outside of this particular project, I did actually. Oh, there's two things.
Go on, tell us.
There's cool. Okay, so cool. Um, outside of this particular project, I am a marketing and business coach for creative weirdos. And I just beta launched a new service called the Unlimited Voice Memo Coaching. And
Oh
I
yeah, we talked about that
we did
literally just
talk about
last week. So from
mhm.
idea to execution took you a week.
Yes.
That's
Well,
amazing.
the idea was long, like it had been
Still,
simmering for a while, but
yeah,
when I spoke it out loud to when I soft launched it, yes, I soft launched it this week.
yeah,
And well, actually, I soft launched. Is today Wednesday? Literally yesterday.
yeah.
So I have my cohort of my current um, clients who I hand selected. There's about 7 of them, and we're just gonna try things out, play around, see what formats work, see what doesn't. If people like it, people hate it. If I like it, if I hate it. So that's a beta test till that I'm gonna run till the end of the year, and just play around with that. And the other thing I want to like celebrate. So let's uh, celebrate launch my and hopefully you know if everything goes well, I'll launch this in the beginning of the new year to the public. So that's my hope.
Yeah.
Um, and then the other thing I did was I finally. It sounds maybe silly, but actually it is not silly at all. Um, I have been really lax on batching my social media content. So just sitting down and just like getting all of the things together and scheduling them. Um, Rather than trying to post every day, I'm just like, let me
Mm,
just get a whole bunch of photos of me, selfies of me. Like, I run them through some fun filters and things. And I have just like maybe 100 photos that are there and ready to go. They just needed captions.
mm.
So I did finally sit down and just like pumped out 100 different captions for 100 different photos, put them into my social media scheduler, and that actually is a huge lift off of me from
Oh
trying to
God,
be
yeah,
like, I need to
yeah,
post every other day of this thing, and I'm just like, no, just like, I got all these
yeah.
photos. They look fine. I just need to caption them and schedule them. So I did that this week,
Oh,
for my little Spiral Music
yeah,
Instagram account. So every week you'll see a little different photo of me with a little different caption, and just like, yeah, I am so happy that I was able to just sit down and do
yeah.
that.
That's
It's
a really big deal, and
yeah.
and like I mean, for me, I do a similar thing. Although actually, I'm less precious about like what photo to take because like my system is like I go out taking photos all the time. Like
Yeah.
when I'm out on walks and I like my paintings, my face. Like my face is always there. It's not like I have to go look for it, and
Yeah.
and so like, but I do batch the content, like the actual captions and the copywriting, and I did develop a kind of a system where I use my Apple Notes, and whenever I have an idea, I just put it in there, and then it's hashtag co-create socials, and then either ready to post or posted or in draft.
Gotcha.
And so even when I've run out of like pre-prepared content, I can always go into that vault, pull something out, and just quickly work through that idea and refine it so that I'm not like I literally have nothing to post because there's always something.
That's so great. Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, cool.
Right. I'm putting exclamation points on all of my celebrations because I'm an American and that's what we do.
That's what you do.
We love ourselves.
So I'm gonna go in, like you're gonna send me the link. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna add some other emojis for you, and you're gonna find out what they are next week.
Okay, awesome. That's great. Oh, that's great.
Little surprise.
Little
Okay, cool.
surprise. Great. Yeah, and then let's see, anything else? I think that just about
I think that's our check-in
was
done.
it.
So yeah, so you guys are like been watching along. If you're new, this is basically the template that you can download for free. All you have to do is sign up to our Eventbrite, so
Mhm.
you can and it's there on the QR code. So and you'll get the links to all the replays. You'll get a reminder for the next session, and you'll get access to those replays. Suzanne has a thing for eating the QR code.
I
So
have
in
to
case
eat
you're
the
wondering
QR
what's
code.
happening,
I have to eat the
I'm
QR
just like
code.
kind of like desensitized to it now. She's like, oh yeah, Suzanne's doing that. But for everyone else, I
I think
so
we can make this QR code a little more delicious. Here, wait, hold on. I'm gonna do a thing, and you're gonna love it. Okay, what do you like? Pie, cake? What do we like?
Donut.
Um, all right. You know what? Um,
So
pie
while you
and
do that, like basically everybody sign up for this. You'll get the link to the replays. You'll get a reminder for next week, and you also get to download Suzanne's what she was using just now, the check-in system, so that you don't forget to ask the all important questions, and you don't have to be thinking about it like live. It's just there. You just fill in the thing, and we've got a cake and a cake.
a pie and a cake right there.
so um do the QR code thing before Suzanne eats it all, and um sign up for those things. You can download all of that, and the initial meeting checklist as well.
Yes,
So
awesome.
yeah, that's that.
That's about
And
that. And then
just
just as a
go.
reminder, y'all should join Co-Create. You
Yeah.
should
Yes,
come on
please. Yeah,
in.
we have 15 spaces for founding members, and we had one of them already go today. And I know people kind of do things last minute, but oh, we have two people sign up now.
Woo!
Oh, one of them signed up for an annual thing. That's
Yay!
Sarah Rose. Sarah Rose Sounds. She is an incredible musician, and oh, she's just incredible. So if you want to meet her, if you wanna hang out with me and Suzanne a bit more, if you want to meet Philippa, if you want to meet Malen, they're all going to be in the membership. So what was I saying? I got completely distracted by
I
saying that there are 15 founding members,
yes.
two of which are already gone, so there are 13 spaces left. If you're up for kind of like hanging out with us lot, then now's the time, because right now it's £37 a month or £370 a year. For the founding members in 2025, when we launch publicly, it'll be more than double that at £97.
Mm,
So
mm.
like act fast, because
Yeah.
these people are
You good because we all are. And that's 37 pounds is like 41, $42 or something
some, yeah,
American, something like that.
45
Plus,
max depending on the day, because like we
depending on
don't
the
know. I
fluctuation.
can't control what our governments are gonna do.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yep. Yes. Yep.
I'd be so interested to see what the conversion rate is next week when we meet, because of the elections. That usually affects things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
So act now.
so act now before we don't know what's gonna happen.
Before we not sure if America is even on the face of the earth next week. Don't know. All up in the air. Act now.
That's yeah. Okay. So on that note,
On that
um,
really optimistic note.
just I'm gonna check who's been around. So thank you, Olive. Thank you, David, and thank you, Ria, for joining us for the live today. On my end, anybody from yours?
One Annie Brown, if I know how to pronounce that correctly, but thank you. Or is it Line Brown? I'm not sure.
Do
Um,
tell us, even on the
yes,
replay.
please
Just
tell
like
us.
just say in the comments. We do check them.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's episode number 5.
That's wow. Yeah, we've got one more next week, and by that time, I will have a completed song.
Ooh, and it's gonna be well in time for Thanksgiving as well. When
Exactly.
is Thanksgiving? Because we don't do that here.
It's the latest it can possibly be. So it's November 29th, I believe.
29th.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the
So you have a
fourth.
little bit of leeway, but one way or another, we're getting a Thanksgiving banger from Suzanne this year, 2024.
Yes,
Nice.
absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much. This has always been a really good time, and just we get to do for each other what we do for our clients, and it's just been magical. So thank you so much, and make sure you join Co-Create before I eat that.
You
Uh, that cake
you thing.
off of the
Yes, thank
screen.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, take care. Oh,
You missed
oh,
it.
missed it. Try again.